Hey there, and welcome to your grammar video for Unit 7, Green Listening. In this lesson, we're going to talk about comparatives and equatives. Let's get started. In order to better understand this lesson, you'll need to review a few grammar points that we've talked about before. For example, equatives. We talked about these when we discussed comparative adverbs in Unit 4. These are statements with as blank as or not as blank as. You'll also need to know comparative adjectives. You'll need to remember the syllable count rules as well as spelling rules. It's also useful to understand the irregular comparatives as well, such as bad and good. Here we have a few examples. However, if you need to, look these things up for review and then come back. So in this lesson, we'll talk about statements using equatives as well as statements using comparatives. In English, equatives are used to explain that something is equal. Looking at our structure, we start with the subject, followed by the be verb, as adjective as, then the object. For example, Hassan got 100% on the test. So did Muhammad. Hassan is as smart as Muhammad. Again, in this example, Hassan and Muhammad are equal. We can also have negative equatives that explain something is unequal. Looking at the structure, again, we start with the subject, then the be verb, followed by the negative, not as adjective as, and then an object. For example, Bob is 177 centimeters tall. Fred is 190 centimeters tall. Bob isn't as tall as Fred. Again, in this example, Bob and Fred are not equal. You'll need to remember that if we have as blank as or not as blank as, we always need an object if there's a second as. If the object is already mentioned, then we don't need to write the second as. An example, Russia is enormous. The USA is not as big. Again, in this example, we know that we're talking about the USA and Russia. We know that they are not equal. So we don't need the second as. Comparative adjectives are used when the subject is more or less than the object. Again, we use comparative adjectives to express the idea that there's a difference. You'll need to remember the syllable rules from previous lessons. If you don't remember them, pause the video and take a look. Also, if the object is clear, we don't need to use than. Some examples of when the object is clear. It was mentioned in a sentence before. For example, Ali is very tall. Muhammad is taller. Again, in this example, we know that we're comparing Muhammad to Ali, so we don't need than. Also, when the subject and object are the same but have changed because of time, often with change words like getting or becoming. For example, the weather is getting warmer. Here, we're comparing the weather to the previous time, so we don't need than. If the object we're comparing to the subject is not clear, we must use than after the comparative adjective. For example, Muhammad is taller than Ali. The weather in Saudi Arabia is hotter than in Antarctica. Now, let's take a practice quiz. As always, pause the video, answer all the questions. When you've finished, hit the play button and we'll check your answers. Question 1. Math is very difficult. English is only a little difficult. English blank math. Again, these two things are not equal, so we can use the negative. Because we're talking about English, we need the be verb singular, so C isn't as difficult as is the answer. Question 2. I can drive to Dammam in an hour. My brother can drive there in 45 minutes. Here, my brother is faster than me. Looking at our answer choices, D, slower than, is the best answer. Question 3. I don't really enjoy playing video games. I prefer playing football because it is blank. Here you have to remember that fun is an irregular comparative, so B, more fun, is correct. Question 4. Eric is often very quiet, but Kimberly is very talkative. Eric is blank Kimberly. Again, if Eric is quiet and Kimberly is talkative, That means Eric is shyer than Kimberly. A. Question 5. Math is blank English. I like math the most because I enjoy the challenge. Again, if math has a challenge and I like it more, then means math is B, harder than English. Question 6. Hofuf is big, but Riyadh is blank. Again, here, we know using the comparative, we have big, which is consonant, vowel, consonant. So we need to double the G and add ER. Because we know the comparison, we don't need than, so A is the correct answer. Question 7. Angkor Wat is 900 years old. The Great Wall of China is over 2,000 years old. Angkor Wat is blank the Great Wall. Again, here, there is clearly a difference. So B, not as old as, is the correct answer. Question 8. The students in PYD blank all other students in the world. Again, of course, this one should be easy. D, are better than, is the correct answer. That's it for this lesson. As always, I hope it was useful. Class dismissed.